Hello there. This is our lesson on saving. So why should we save? What's the purpose of saving? That kind of information is what we're going to talk about today. So to begin, what is savings? For one, it is the amount of income that is not spent on what you consume. So we all know that we go to the store and we buy our groceries and we buy our shampoo and conditioner. We buy different things to eat. So that is what we spend our money on items that we're going to consume. But everybody needs to put some of that money back. So when you get your paycheck, you need to decide how much you're going to save, and that's what your savings is. So the next thing is we use savings accounts. So you've got savings. That's the portion of the income that you don't spend on the items you consume. And then you have savings accounts, which those are what we have at a bank. And it's a place that we can go save our money, put our money in there, and then go get it whenever we need it. So if we need it for living expenses or emergencies, we put it in the savings account, we go to the bank, and we can pull it right out. Most people need to have between 3 to 6 months of a salary in their savings account for a lot of reasons, and we're going to go over those reasons in just a minute. So again, what is savings? That's the portion of the income not spent on consumption. A savings account is something that's at a bank, and it's a place that you can store your money and you can go get it whenever you need it. And then again, this is important, you need to have 3 to 6 months of your salary in a savings account. Meaning, if you make $1,000 a month, you should have between $3,000 to $6,000 in a savings account ready to go for any kind of emergencies. Especially if you lose your job, then you'll be able to pay your bills for a little bit while you find another one. So, reasons we use a savings account: daily expenses, emergencies, future purchases, and future investing, and we're going to go over that on the next slide. So, saving, again, that's what you don't spend on your consumptions. You can store it for daily expenses and emergencies. And then another thing I want you guys to know is the term liquidity. That's how quickly you can turn an asset into cash. So, if you don't have any money, you got to look around and see, can I sell my fridge? Can I sell my car? Can I sell my table? And if you can, then you can get cash if you can sell those things pretty quick. But sometimes it's just easier to go to the bank and tell the teller, I need to pull money out of my savings account. So when we have an emergency, we need to have cash so we can get to it fast. We don't want to have to see if we can sell a refrigerator to be able to get that cash. So that's way better to have a savings account than to try to go and figure out if I can sell my table. So the other thing is, a savings account does have a low interest rate. So what the interest rate is, that is a percentage that the bank is going to pay you in order to have that savings account at their bank. So usually it's a pretty low percentage, around 2% a year or so. And that's not very much. So if you only have a couple $100 in your savings account, then you're only going to earn a few pennies on that couple $100. You got to have a lot of money in your savings account to start making some money on your interest. So that's one reason why people don't like putting money in a savings account. But I don't put my money in a savings account to earn interest. I put my money in there so I don't spend it on other things that I don't need to. So reasons people should save: again, emergencies. You never know. Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to get sick? Am I going to need to fix my car? Do I need to buy a new washing machine? Oh my goodness, it just busted. I think I need to go buy a new washing machine. Where am I going to get that money? So you need to have money in your savings account for emergencies like this. And most of the time, like I said, 3 to 6 months is what you need in there. So if you don't have that, then it's going to be hard if you do lose your job. And then while you're trying to find another job, you still got to pay for your expenses. And again, the second one, expenses. It is a good thing to be putting money back into savings. And what a lot of people do is they know they have $500 worth of expenses a month. They take $500 and put it in savings. And that way when the water bill comes, a light bill comes, or the car payment is due, they can just go to the bank, pull the money out, boom, their bills are paid. So that's a way to be able to make sure everything gets paid for and you don't have to worry about it. Future purchases. Do you want to go to college? Do you want to buy a new car? Maybe. Do you want a new stereo system? Maybe you want to replace that table you had to sell. All right. So if you want to make future purchases, if you want to buy something like a car, or maybe you want to buy a house one day, you need to put money in savings account. That way the money's there, it's untouched, and you just let it sit until you're ready to buy stuff. The other thing, investing. Like I said, it's not a real big investment to have a savings account, but if you do put money in there, it's going to earn interest. So the more money you have in there, the more interest you're going to be able to earn. But the other thing is, if you're not quite ready to invest, you could be saving up your money. So when you get ready to buy some stocks or buy some bonds or buy some real estate, you'll have money in order to do that with. So here's some reasons why people do not have a savings account, why they do not save their money. So people have too many needs and wants. They need that new car, or they need those new clothes, they need that new stereo system, they need the latest and the greatest, but they also need to pay their light bill, and they need to pay their mortgage or their rent. So people just spend all their money before they even save stuff. So they don't want to have to save up for things, they want to just get them right now. Other reasons why is they don't understand how much they need to save. So if you don't have a plan and a goal, then you're not going to know how much you need to save. So you need to make sure that you have a goal. If I know I want to buy a new car and I know how much that car is, I need to save up the money and I need to have a goal. And again, we mentioned about the poor interest rates. Nobody likes having a 2% annual interest rate on a savings account. Nobody does, but that's how it is. So that's one reason why people don't save, because they don't think they're making very much money, and they're not. But again, it's a good place to keep your money, to keep it safe. So another reason why people don't save is they think, I got a credit card. I can just swipe my card. Just swipe my card and I can pay for anything. But the thing is, just because you can swipe that credit card doesn't mean you're going to be able to pay it off later. So you need to make sure that you've got money in a savings account for emergencies and not use that credit card. And the other thing is, people think, I've got a great job. My job is awesome. I'm not ever going to lose my job. And so if they think that way, then they're not going to save up for any emergencies, like if they lose their job. But they're going to need money for emergencies in case their job just decides to go away. So, how do we help figure out how much we need to save? Number one, go ahead and track your spending for a month and figure out where your money's going. So if you know that you go to McDonald's 5 times a week, maybe you can stop going to McDonald's 5 times a week and only go 2 times. And then you'll kind of know. So you could take that money you're saving on that Big Mac or that, those chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, and you can put that money into a savings account. So look through all your expenses and determine what you can cut and see where your money's going, and see if you can use it to put money back instead. Also, write it down. Make a decision. Figure out how much you're going to save each month and write it down. Stick to it, and there's your savings plan. But also, be willing to make adjustments. Sometimes you're not going to be able to make that much money each month, depending on your job. If you work hourly and your hours get cut, you may have to adjust how much you're saving, but still keep saving. Don't stop. Here's a good rule to know. Put money away first for yourself. Pay yourself first is what you need to remember. Okay? So don't pay your bills first. Don't go buy that new jacket first. Put your money in the savings account before you go pay for everything else. It's a good rule of thumb. That way you'll make sure that your money got put back in the savings account. And the last thing to remember, the 70-20-10 rule. Spend 70% of the money that you earn, save 20%, and invest the other 10%. If you're not ready to invest, go ahead and save 30% and have that back, so that way when you're ready to invest, you can. So again, 70-20-10. Spend 70%, save 20%, invest 10%. And like I said, make that savings 30% if you're not ready to invest. I hope you've learned a lot about saving money, and you'll be able to finish the assignment that I'm going to give you after you finish this video. Bye.